Good afternoon, welcome to VANIK-IAS, and we will discuss objective questions. Yes. According to India's national policy on biofuels, which of the following can be used as raw materials for the productions of biofuels? Production of biofuel, India is aggressively pursuing biofuel policy. According to biofuel policy, India is going to blend 20% of ethanol by 2025. 20% of ethanol blending will be done by 2025 instead of 2030. So there are various types of biofuel, that is first generation biofuel, second generation biofuel. First generation biofuel is made up of food crops, right? Second generation biofuel, they are made up of non-food crops. Third generation biofuel, they are made up of algae. Fourth generation biofuel are made up of GM crops, right? So what can be used as raw materials in the production of biofuels? Cassava, it can be used. Damaged wheat grains, it can be also used. Rotten potatoes, it can be used. Sugar beet, it can be used. Horse gram, groundnut seeds, they cannot be used as the raw materials for the production of biofuels. National policy on biofuel that mentions these materials can be used as raw materials for biofuel, right? India will blend 20% of ethanol by 2025. So 1, 2, 5, 6, these are the right answer. 1, 2, 5, 6. So cassava, damaged wheat grains, and rotten potatoes and sugar beet, this can be used as biofuel, used for biofuel production, right? Next, which of the following statements are correct regarding ethanol blending program? Ethanol blending, right? That is, ethanol is a third generation biofuel. No, it is not third generation. Third generation biofuel are primarily derived from algae. So this statement is wrong. It is not third generation. It is first generation. First generation, I have said first generation biofuel, that is ethanol or bioethanol. It is primarily derived from food crops. Second generation biofuel is from not fruit crops like wood, from woods and other things. Third generation biofuel is from algae, and fourth is from genetically modified crops. Currently 10% of ethanol can be blended with petrol under the program. Yes, currently we are undergoing 10% addition of ethanol blending. Under ethanol blending program, the procurement of ethanol produced from non-food feedstocks can be allowed. Procurement of ethanol produced from non-food feedstocks is allowed. So this is non-food. Yes, non-food feedstocks has been allowed. So 2, 3 options are right answer. Consider the following statements. First generation biofuels are produced from crops directly from the fields. That is cereal, sugar beet, rapeseed, cane, maize, right? Cereals, right? Rotten potatoes, I have directly from seeds. This is crops, food crops, right? First generation biofuel. Second generation biofuel are produced residual and waste product. Residual and non-food crops, that may be rice straw, wheat straw, corn cobs, corn stover, bagasse and bamboo and woody biomass. All these are second generation biofuel. So both the statements are correct here regarding biofuel. Consider the following statements. Defense equipment, FINSAS. What is this FINSAS? It is program for infantry modernization. Infantry modernization means the infantry, they can be equipped with various various technological developments, so that they can work like a machine, right? They will be lightweight, and they can so that they can sustain in all weather. They can so that is FINSAS. that is infantry modernization, it is FINSAS. ATAGS, it is gun system, it is developed gun system, right. Nippon mines is not, it is not anti-tank mines, it is anti-personnel mines. Anti-personnel mines are Nippon mines. Anti-personnel mines are Nippon mines. Recently, these three good defense equipment are in use. So, 1 and 2 options are right answer. Maize Summit 2022 is recently conducted. Consider the following statements with reference to maize. Difference in maize yield between India and the world is more than 100. Yes, it is around 130%. That is, as compared to the world average, India's maize yield is more. Maize yield means from 1 hectare how much ton of production of maize occurs. That is maize yield. In case of India, it is more than the world average, so that is around 130%. So obviously it is more than 100%. India stands fifth rank in the maize hybridization. It is also right. India stands maize hybridization. Maize is the only cereal food that can be grown in different seasons. It can be grown in different seasons and requires moderate climate growth. Moderate climate for growth, it is required for modernization. So all of the above are answer. Right, maize is the only food that can grown in different seasons, and moderate climate is required for maize growth, and maize yield is more than 100% in more than the world average. It is around 130%, and India is fifth rank, securing fifth rank in maize modernization. Then consider the following with reference to PIN number, right? For example, every locality has a PIN number, right? The PIN is made up of 6 digits. Yes, this is right. PIN is made up of 6 digits. All the numbers of a PIN code are codified according to the geographical territory. Everything is not geographical territory. For example, number 9, it is for armed forces. So other 8 digits they are for geographical territory. So second statement is not right. See, the word all is that creates the problem. So this is wrong. 1 only is the answer. With reference to International Council for on Clean Transportation, consider the following statements. It is a specialized agency, International Council on Clean Transportation. International Council on Clean Transportation, it is a specialized agency under UNFCCC. It is right. India is signatory to member it. Yes, India is a signatory to International Council on Clean Transportation. On its recommendation, India recently decided to increase its ethanol blending up to 20%. Right. So these are the various steps that is being taken by India, or in the lines of International Council of Clean Transportation, especially to ensure the reduction of climate change, or adhering to the promises that are the NDC, national determined commitments India has promised in the Glasgow summit. That is why India is increasing around 20% of its ethanol. It has various ethanol blending has various profits for India. For example, it saves around huge amount of forex reserve, because 20% of our ethanol, it is 20% of our petrol of our ethanol is blended. That means 20% petrol or petroleum reduction purchasing that reduced, right? That's why it saves huge amount of forex exchange. Also, carbon emission is low in case of ethanol as compared to the petroleum products. That's why India is aggressively pursuing ethanol blending. Palan 1000. What is this Palan 1000 project? It is a portal streamlining child adoption process. Palan 1000. Especially the focus will be adoption of child that is below 2 years, so that their they can be their cognitive development within 2 years is where can be safeguarded properly. So that is a portal, that is Palan 1000. Consider the following statement with reference to traditional knowledge digital library, TKDL, traditional knowledge digital library. It is a library, it is jointly made up of yes, let's see the purposes. It is the first of its kind globally, it is first of its kind globally. The information is documented in digitized format in 5 international languages such as English, German, French, Japanese and Spanish. In these 5 languages, the information is documented. It is open platform to patent. No, it is non-patent. It is not it is a non-patent office. So this is wrong, right? Especially the purpose of TKDL, that is traditional knowledge digital library, is to this is to safeguard our traditional knowledges. India is a hub of traditional knowledges. In every localities we see so many indigenous knowledges, which is many times which has relevance throughout the world. We have indigenous knowledge regarding medicines, we have indigenous knowledge regarding various procedures, that is daily various that will help in daily life. That is full of India is full of such type of knowledge because of huge diversity, and such type of knowledge will be mentioned in the traditional knowledge digital library, that is TKDL. Remember, it has 5 languages: English, German, French, Japanese and Spanish. Consider the following statements with regards to UDAN scheme, recently in news. UDAN scheme, what is this UDAN scheme? UDAN scheme, it aims to provide affordable, economically viable and profitable air travel to regional routes. Yes, it is profitable, affordable. Ude desh ka aam nagarik, this is UDAN scheme, that is profitable and that is affordable, economically viable, and that develops regional connectivity, right? So that common man in small towns can also travel in the aeroplane. The scheme focuses on greenfield projects only. See this only word, that's why this is wrong. It is not only greenfield projects, it is also brownfield projects. Brownfield, what is the difference between greenfield projects and brownfield projects? Greenfield projects are those projects which are for the first time it is developed. Brownfield project which is already developed and you are more and more you are investing in that. That is brownfield project. So it is both for brownfield and greenfield projects. So one only option is the right answer. With reference to 103rd Amendment Act, consider the following statements. It provides 10% reservation in education and government jobs in India for a section of general category candidates. Yes, general category candidates, they are especially economically weaker section. Economically weaker sections, they get 10% of reservation according to 103rd Constitutional Amendment. The amendment introduced economic reservation by amending Article 21. Now this is not Article 21, it is Article 15 Clause 6 and Article 16 Clause 6. Article 15 Clause 6 and Article 16 Clause 6 is amended, and 103rd Amendment Act, this mandated 10% reservation to general category, especially for economical weaker sections. So one only option is the right answer. With reference to Zojila Pass, consider the following statements. Zojila is a high mountain pass in the Himalayas in the Indian Union Territory of Ladakh. It is a high mountain pass in the Himalayas in the Indian Union Territory of Ladakh. It is the highest pass on NH1. Highest pass on NH1. Yes. It is a high mountain pass in the Himalayan Indian Territory of Ladakh. So this is right. It is the highest pass on NH1. No, this is not highest. Highest is Fotula. This is wrong. So this second statement is wrong. Zojila tunnel will be longest bidirectional tunnel in Asia. Yes, it is longest bidirectional tunnel in Asia. So 3 is the answer. So 1 and 3 are the answer regarding Zojila Pass. Okay. Next, which of the following pairs are right, are correctly matched? Hirakud Dam, it is dam in Mahanadi. Hirakud Dam, it is dam in Mahanadi, right? Baglia Dam, it is in Chenab. Baglia Dam, that is right. So only 2 is the answer. Gandhi Sagar Dam, that is related to your Chambal, right? Chambal River, which is tributary of Ganga, right? Chambal River, that is Gandhi Sagar Dam is in Chambal River. Hirakud Dam is in Mahanadi. Baglia Dam, it is in Chenab. So 2 only is the answer. What is the correct regarding sovereign gold bond scheme? Sovereign gold, it is issued by Scheduled Commercial Bank. This is not issued by Scheduled Commercial Bank. Sovereign gold bond scheme, it is issued by RBI in behalf of the union government, right? So see, just by common sense also you can say this is wrong, because Scheduled Commercial Banks, they will not launch it on behalf of union government. If any bank will do something on behalf of union government, obviously the answer is RBI. Interest on gold bonds are tax exempted under the Income Tax Act. No, they are not tax exempted, that is 2.5% will be the interest. They are not tax exempted, tax will be included, right? Second statement is wrong. So now both the statements are wrong regarding sovereign gold bond scheme. This is why this scheme was launched. This scheme was launched to utilize India's gold reserves in various households. You can store your golds in that is in bulk form, that is not in the ornamental form, in the banks, and you will get the interest for that, right? So it is one type of monetization of the existing gold. Silver Line project. What is this Silver Line project? It is a rail corridor, especially in state of Kerala, right? It is a rail corridor in the state of Kerala, right? Kerala is developing, Kerala plus Indian Railways, they are developing a rail corridor in Kerala, that is Silver Line project. Indian Railway jointly developing a rail corridor, that is Silver Line project. So B is the answer. Okay. With reference to clouded leopard, consider the following statements. It is only found in tropical evergreen rainforest. Whenever you see only, then statement is generally they are wrong. It is not only tropical rainforest, it is seen in the grassland regions. It is also seen in the grassland regions, that is clouded leopard. The International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List threatened species categorized it as vulnerable. Yes, it is it has got vulnerable status. It is so B only is the answer, right? It is not only found in rainforest, it is found in grassland area and other areas as well. Which of the following statements is not correct regarding the Yamanika Tirtha? Yamanika Tirtha, what is Yamanika Tirtha? Yamanika Tirtha, it belongs to Puri. Puri is Lord Jagannath temple, Puri, that is called as Yamanika Tirtha. Yamanika Tirtha, it is built in 12th century by Eastern Ganga dynasty. Eastern Ganga dynasty, they have built Puri temple in that is Eastern Ganga dynasty. That is called as Yamanika Tirtha. Nila chakras are the top of the temple. Yes, made up of Ashtadhatu. Nila chakras, you can see Nila chakra at the top of the that is made up of Ashtadhatu, right? It is also called as Black Pagoda. No, Black Pagoda, it is Konark is called as Black Pagoda. Konark, it is called as Black Pagoda, right? It is situated in the state of Odisha. Yes, it is situated in the state of Odisha. It is not called in Black Pagoda. Black Pagoda is Konark. Yamanika Tirtha is Puri. So C is not correct, right? So answer here will be C, as it is not correct. With reference to the drone rules 2021, consider the following statements. Drone rules. It will exempt a drone operator from seeking a security clearance before registering a drone or applying for a license. Yes, you do not need a drone security clearance for registering a drone or applying a license, so this is right. No pilot license will be required for operating micro drones used for non-commercial uses. Right, micro drones used for non-commercial uses, that will be no pilot license will be required. So both the statements 1 and 2 are right. They are according to the drone rules 2021. Government has brought drone rules especially to improve the sector and to bring foreign direct investment in case of drones, drone rules. Okay. First we will discuss some prelims course, important topics for prelims, then we will discuss mains topic. Raksha Mantri hands some indigenously developed equipment systems to Indian Army. Right, India is going for defense modernization, developing. There is a scheme that is launched, Swavalamban, for example, Swavalamban scheme that is developed especially for indigenization of Navy equipments. Similarly, Defense Minister has handed over indigenously developed equipment system. What are those? First is FINSAS system. What is this FINSAS system? It stands for Future Infantry Soldier as a System. Future Infantry Soldier as a System, or a program for infantry modernization aimed at increasing the operational capability of the soldier. And as a part of the project, soldiers are being equipped with modern systems that are lightweight and all-weather, all-terrain, cost-effective and low maintenance. So this is the equipment that is provided to Indian soldier, that is a FINSAS system, which is Future Infantry Soldier as a System. It is a program for infantry modernization, increasing operational capability of a soldier, right, which are lightweight and modern system, operational capability, so that he can function in multiple terrains, in hill terrains, in difficult situation, a soldier can function, that is FINSAS system. Full gear of the FINSAS system include AK-203 assault rifle, AK-203 assault rifle, which is a Russian origin, gas operated, magazine fed, select fire assault rifle. It has a range of 300 meter and is being made at Korwa near Amethi in a Russia-India joint venture. So it is made in India. It is made in India with Russian collaboration. A contract for over 6 lakh AK-203 rifles was signed in December 2021 by Ministry of Defence and the Indo-Russian Rifles Private Limited. So with the AK-203 rifles, it is being developed in Amethi by cooperation with Russia. India is developing cooperation with Russia AK-203 rifles that will be provided under a FINSAS system. On the weaponry front, other than AK-203, the FINSAS includes multi-mode hand grenade. Multi-mode hand grenade which can be used defensive and offensive modes. Defensive means you can protect yourself. You are when somebody is already attacking you, then you can use the grenades. Now offensive mode also, you start attacking them. That is called as offensive. That is if there will be also multi-mode hand grenade. There will be hand grenade also, multi-mode hand grenade that is also can be used by the FINSAS system. In a defensive mode, grenades are hurled when thrower is in shelter or have a cover, while the target is in open and they can be harmed by the fragmentation. In the offensive mode, the grenades do not fragment and the adversary is harmed by blast or stunned. The weapon kit also multi-purpose life for close quarters combat. Multi-purpose life. There is also multi-purpose life in the grenade. So in the it has to be hurled when the thrower is in shelter. If it is a shelter, then you can throw it, right, and have a cover. While the target is in the open, it can be and can be harmed by fragmentation, right. So that is grenade. Apart from this, FINSAS provides soldiers with a ballistic helmets and ballistic goggles. Ballistic helmets and ballistic goggles. Protection against small projectiles and fragments. along with bulletproof vest. Bulletproof vest so that they will not be there will not be death, right? Bulletproof vest. The helmet and bulletproof jacket are capable of protecting the soldier against 9 mm bullets. 9 mm bullets and ammunition fired from AK-47 rifles. For target acquisition, the soldier has rifle mounted holographic sight for fast and accurate aiming with a range of 200 meters. The helmet has a mounted night vision device for operating in low light condition. There is also night vision goggles, night vision devices. There is bulletproof vest, there is ballistic goggles, ballistic helmets. All these things are thermal imagers cover infrared energy from objections to thermal images. So they can see the clear picture of a distant object and the target will be exact target. The VANIK-IAS also comes hands-free. Secured advanced communication set for real-time exchange of information with the command post and fellow soldiers, enhance situation in the awareness. So they can directly contact to the boss without any their hands free. They can talk directly to their officers. So that is also fit in the VANIK-IAS system. Most importantly, all these items have been sourced from defense public sector undertaking and private Indian industries. They have been indigenously designed by Indian entities including DRDO and Ordnance Factories ecosystem. So they are the indigenously developed systems. So by India itself. So the VANIK-IAS system it is so that will be help in the infantry modernization, right. So first is it has ballistic helmets, ballistic goggles, then there is bulletproof vest, there is also night vision devices, there is also hand free to talk with their officers. So that are the features of VANIK-IAS system, VANIK-IAS system. Consider 2000 VANIK-IAS system is among the many soldier modernization programs across the world. US has Land Warrior, the US has Land Warrior, that is India has VANIK-IAS, they have Land Warrior, where UK has FIST, Future Integrated Soldier Technology. UK has FIST. According to estimates, around over 20 armies around the world are following such programs. Okay, the DRDO conceptualized the VANIK-IAS, not confused with the INSAS of Indian small arms system, in line with the targets of the Army's infantry soldier modernization program, with an aim to optimize the soldier performance across the full spectrum and duration of a military operation. Soldiers' performance across the full spectrum and duration of a military operation. The DRDO revealed that similar infantry modernization programs from the US, France and Germany, Israel were studied for the Indian project. And they have studied, and DRDO has developed a VANIK-IAS system after studying the these were the systems of US, France, UK and Germany and Israel. The quality of requirements for the project were set by the Army. Research and development efforts are still on further fine-tune the VANIK-IAS for all types of conflict scenarios and terrains. That is to be. So research and development will continue to develop it, right? Okay. Next, what are Nipun mines? Nipun mines, these are the anti-personnel mines. That is land mines especially. Mines are indigenously designed, developed anti-personnel mines. Remember, these are anti-personnel mines, not anti-tank mines. These are anti-personnel mines. This is developed by DRDO as soft target blast munition. Right, soft target blast munition, that is Nipun mines. And what is Nipun mines? These mines are meant to act as first line of defense against infiltrators and enemy infantry. First line of defense, right? Suppose for example, these are the disputed territory. Here we can deploy various mines so that enemy cannot make an entry here. Otherwise, they will be blasted against the persons. And these mines, they cannot work in these areas, because to cover this area they have to cross it. And how they will cross it? If they step on it, then there will be blast. These mines are meant to act as a fast line of defense against infiltrators and enemy infantry. They have been developed with the efforts of Armament Research and Development Establishment, Pune-based DRDO facility and Indian industry. Anti-personnel mines are meant to be used against humans as well as anti-tank mines. As against anti-tank mines that are aimed at heavy vehicles. So for heavy vehicles there will be different mines. For human beings there will be different mines. These are smaller in size and can be deployed in large numbers. They are deployed in large numbers. The army has said that the mine will provide protection to troops on the borders and is more potent and effective than existing anti-personnel mine in its arsenal. So that will be more potent and effective than existing mines. These Nipun mines, they are more protective. Okay. This next is what is landing craft assault, LCA. Next is landing craft assault or LCA. Now, what is this LCA? This landing craft assault is meant to serve replacement for the boats with limited capabilities currently used in Pangso Lake. Replacement for the boats, that is LCA, landing craft assault. LCA, which has been indigenously developed by Goa-based Aquarius Shipyard Limited, has said to have better launch speed and capacity to operate across the water obstacles. So to operate across the water, that is operates across the water, LCA has been developed by indigenously by Goa-based Aquarius Shipyard Limited. That is to operate in the Pangso Lake, where India has which is the disputed region between India and China, where around 1/3 of area is within India. To operate across the water, it is developed, right? Similar vessels are already operational in Indian Navy, that is LCA, landing craft assault. So what are the other defense system we will see? Other than the defense system and equipment, defense minister also formally handed over Indian Army thermal imaging site for T-20 tanks. Thermal imaging site, handheld thermal imager, frequency hopping radio relay for tactical communication across the much longer ranges. So there will communication system will be developed. Further, downlink equipment with recording facility to help helicopters in surveillance missions was also handed over. Downlink equipment with recording facility. Using this system, reconnaissance data is recorded and can be accessed only when helicopter returns to the base. Some other defense system include infantry protected mobility vehicles, quick reaction fighting vehicles, mini remotely piloted aerial system surveillance, detection and reconnaissance are the infantry battalion and mercantilized units level. These are the various equipments that are given to army by the defense ministry, right? Next is postal identification number. Why postal identification number is used? Because it is celebrating the 50th anniversary, right? Turns 50th anniversary, pin code turns 50th anniversary. That is why it is in news. 75th Independence Day, 75th Independence Day anniversary. Remember, this is India's 75th Independence Day anniversary. But this is 76th anniversary, 76th Independence Day. This is India's 76th Independence Day, but it is 75th Independence Day anniversary, right? That is the difference, and that coincides with another milestone, that country's history, that postal index number PIN, that the anniversary becomes 50 because it was started in 1972, 50th anniversary. Okay. Why was the PIN code was introduced? Why PIN code was introduced? It is for goods and services delivery. According to the Department of Post, there were 23,000 through post offices, primarily in urban areas, India at the time of independence. But the country was growing rapidly and postal network had to keep pace as that is growing rapidly and there is huge rapid urbanization. So we have to develop such a system so that it will be easy for PIN code was meant to ease the process of mail sorting and delivery in a country where different places often have the same or similar names and letters are written in a wide variety of languages. So rather than a wide variety, there are a variety of languages, there is variety of similar names, so it is confusing. That's why for delivering particular goods and services or mail, there is a PIN code system was developed. It is made up of 6 digits, right? It is made up of 6 digits. The first number indicates that postal region, northern, eastern, southern, western, southern, right? Number 9 signifies army postal services. Remember, number 9, it signifies army postal services. And up to number 8, that are related to different geographical areas. The second number denotes a sub-region and third represents the sorting district. The remaining numbers narrow the geography further to specific post office making delivery. So the geography further to specific post office making delivery. Right. Who was the person behind the initiative? The person behind the initiative was Sriram Bikaji Bhalankar. Sriram Bikaji Bhalankar, Additional Secretary in the Union Ministry Communication, senior member of the Post and Telegraph Board. He has started this initiative. Sriram Bikaji Bhalankar. Bhalankar was also a Sanskrit poet of eminence who has been conferred with President's Award for Sanskrit 1996, 3 years before he died in Mumbai. Among Bhalankar's 105 books he played Sanskrit was the Bhiloma Kavya, considered literary masterpiece, Bhiloma Kavya, that is developed by Bhalankar, because it compels verses of praise of Lord Rama and read from one side and when read from backwards, it transferred verses dedicated to Lord Krishna, Bhiloma Kavya, right? When read from backwards, it transformed the verses dedicated to Lord Krishna. That is the specialization of Bhiloma Kavya developed by Bhalankar. He has set up a cultural group in Mumbai called as Devbani Mandiram, which worked to create awareness about Sanskrit in India, and foreign countries. Bhalankar was also chairman of World Philatelic Exhibition called INDIPEX, which was held in New Delhi in 1973, featured 120 countries. He retired from government service in 1973. What are the parallel system followed by world over? In the US Zone Improvement Plan, ZIP code, Zone Improvement Plan, it is in US like India's PIN code, introduced in 1963 under the aegis of Postal Service nationwide improved mail service plan to improve the speed of mail delivery. According to Library of Congress, under the system, letters went through 17 sorting stops. The new system are going to consider less time consuming, utilizing newer, more mechanical system. So it is seen that it is better, more efficient, and presently also we are highly dependent on the PIN code. In UK, sorting mail started getting mechanized in the 1960s. The keys to mechanization is an alphanumeric postal code that provides sorting by machine at every stage of handling, including the carrier's delivery route. The coding equipment translates the postal code into pattern of dots by means of which machines can sort mail at 8 times the speed of manual sorting. So there is 8 times efficiency that is witnessed. Japan created its postal code address system in July 1968. Automatic postal code reader sorters exist in major post offices of the country. Is PIN code still relevant? With the spread of the internet, when people are sending fewer letters, it is easy to question the relevance of PIN code. But try to order a food delivery or parcel online shopping. The importance of Bhalankar's work is still become evident. Everywhere we are all still utilizing the PIN code, so it is still relevant everywhere. how India is still benefited from the contribution of M. Vishweshwar and Dr. M. S. Swaminathan in the fields of water engineering and agriculture science respectively. Okay. The British rule in India neglected modernization of Indian agriculture and little was done to improve the education system. Neglected Indian agriculture, right? When Britishers came, we had 26% of share in world GDP, but when they returned, it was only 3 to 4% share in world GDP, and the growth was 0.0001%. So they have neglected Indian agriculture, right? India is an agriculture state at that time. Even today, India is an agricultural country, having around 70% of population are indirectly dependent on agriculture, right? So India didn't have enough to feed its burgeoning population, and it was forced to subsist the ship to mouth existence. At this junctures, two personalities, Sir M. Vishweshwar and M. S. Swaminathan, emerged, who revolutionized their respective fields of knowledge, contributing enormously to India's development. So two personalities, M. Vishweshwar, who was an engineer, right, and M. S. Swaminathan, who was agriculture expert, right. He has revolutionized in the field of knowledge and contributing enormously to India's development. Sir M. Vishweshwar contribution in the field of water engineering, right. Water engineering, Engineers Day is celebrated on the birthday of Sir M. Vishweshwar. He remembered as India's most prolific civil engineer, dam builder, economist, statesman, and can be counted among the last century's foremost national builders. Most prolific civil engineer, dam builder, economist, and foremost nation builders, M. Vishweshwar. He played an instrumental role in the construction of Krishna Raja Sagara Lake. Instrumental role in the construction of Krishna Raja Sagar Lake Dam in 1994. Krishna Raja Sagar Lake Dam in 1924. The dam is not only become the main source of water for irrigation nearby areas, but also the main source of drinking water for several cities. Main Krishna Raja Sagar Lake and Dam in 1924, that is main source of drinking water in several cities. Vishweshwar was among things responsible for building and consolidation of dams. So he was responsible for building and consolidation of dams. Dams always help in irrigation, right? Without dams, because India hardly around, even today, around 50% of our land are non-irrigated. They are dependent on their rain-fed areas, right? Monsoon is erratic. India's it is a monsoon pattern we witness in many areas like Rayalaseema areas of Telangana. There is, for example, the Vidarbha region of Maharashtra, some regions of Madhya Pradesh, of central India, there is very less rainfall and there is drought. So in such situation, it is important, highly important. There is also our desert region like in Rajasthan. So in Maharashtra region also, when we see many desert regions. So we have to develop our irrigation system to provide to develop agriculture in those areas. And M. Vishweshwar was among the responsible for building the consolidation of dams across the country. Dams purpose multiple purposes. For example, they can be used in irrigation. They are used in developing hydropower, which is a renewable energy, right? Hydropower. That will also, so hydropower that also safeguards our energy surplus. We are energy surplus with hydropower, and hydropower can also be used in flood control. So M. Vishweshwar, he has developed huge amount of consolidation of dams across the country. He invented the block system, automated doors that closed in the conditions of overflow. Also designed Hyderabad's flood management system. He has also designed Hyderabad's flood management system. He recognized for his brilliance in India also at present time in urban areas. We see multiple times there is flood, urban flood. The urban flood is not because of it is primarily because because the reason is that most of the areas of urban areas there is concrete road or there is infrastructure, so there is no area for water per location to the groundwater. And the reason is, another reason is that sudden rainfall. The drain system is not properly developed, so that sudden they can dispose a huge amount of water when sudden rainfall occurs. So we see urban flood, severely urban flood in Chennai last few years back to 4 years back, and in many urban areas in Delhi also, Delhi, Chennai, even in the metropolitan cities, we see urban floods primarily because of the improper drainage system. So invented block system automated roads that close the conditions of overflow, also designed Hyderabad's flood management system. He recognized for this brilliance and creating harnessing water resources, designing, constructing dams, bridges, and revolutionizing the irrigation system in India. Revolutionizing the irrigation system in India. Due to his outstanding contribution to the society, Government of India conferred Bharat Ratna to his legend in 1955. So M. Vishweshwara, he has developed various dams and also irrigation systems, dams and the water management system of Hyderabad. So because of his contribution, he has conferred with Bharat Ratna in 1955. Next is the contribution of M. Swaminathan. Recently, government has also implemented the Swaminathan Committee recommendation regarding agriculture, but the opposition parties and the farmer unions, they equivocally rejected the farm laws, citing that there will be it will be harmful to the farmers and it will support the farmers and to support the corporate interest. That's why they have opposed it. But yes, that is the reason why farm laws has been strongly opposed by various parties of the government. M. Swaminathan contribution to agriculture science. So even today they are relevant, right? We have that's why government has implemented them, wanted to implement it, but due to protest against it has taken back the farm laws. The plant geneticist, by training Professor Swaminathan's contribution to the agriculture renaissance of India have led to his being widely referred as scientific leader of Green Revolution. He is the father of the Green Revolution. M. Swaminathan is the father of the Green Revolution movement, right? Although the farm laws are not implemented in the pan-India basis, it is implemented, partially it is implemented, even today they are getting implemented, much before the farm laws brought in various states like Punjab, Haryana, Maharashtra. Punjab, Haryana and Maharashtra. Yes, next is he is the father of Green Revolution. What is Green Revolution? In the 1960s, we faced a severe, India faced a severe crisis in its food, right? To balance that food crisis, India suddenly wanted to develop the food production. Rather than distributing the horizontal production, it wanted to intensify the food production in the particular areas which are already developed in the grain. For example, in case that is in Western Uttar Pradesh, that is in Haryana, that is in Punjab, right? In Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh, government brought various reforms to develop Green Revolution. Right? For example, there is land reforms, it introduced mechanization in agriculture, right? It has given huge subsidies for mechanization to the farmers. It has also developed the mandi systems, and it has also increased the MSPs, that is giving minimum support prices to purchase their product, to purchase the agriculture products or the food grains. It has also developed high yield varieties. High yield varieties means those food crops that will give huge amount of production that will be resistant to excessive rain or extensive dry condition, that will give a high amount of crop production. They are high yield varieties or modern varieties of seed based on genetical engineering. So such steps are given first. This idea was given by M.S. Swaminathan that saved India from the food crisis, and we never faced food crisis after the Green Revolution, right? But so presently India has food surplus. There is no chance that we will face the food crisis like we have felt in the 1960s. But the problem with Green Revolution is that it is unevenly distributed throughout the countries. It is only limited to particular area of Western Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and Haryana. There is it is not there in case of other areas like for example eastern areas, Odisha, Bengal, West Bengal and Assam. All these areas there is no significant development of agriculture, despite there is 60 years of Green Revolution. But the reason is that maybe there is central government has not focused properly, or the state governments. There are some lacuna regarding the development of agriculture. Predominantly we see subsistence agriculture in these areas. Subsistence agriculture means whatever the amount of agriculture that is for food production of in the agriculture, conceptualized evergreen revolution in the moment in the agriculture, so that the world will come out of the food crisis. Even presently we are also, although we are not suffering from food crisis, still in rural areas there is malnutrition, there is anemia, there is stunting, there is wasting of this problem exists even today. So that is another part, that is we can solve that problem by creation of awareness. Next, Swaminathan is a visionary who took India from bondage of sheep to the mouth, existence to the freedom of right to food through the homegrown food. Right to food, sheep to mouth. India from the bondage of sheep to mouth, existence from right to food to right to food, right? Right to food. That is the most important. It is also important for India's National Food Security Act. India has implemented National Food Security Act in 2013, right? Mandating 67% of population of India, 75% from the rural areas and around 65% from the 50% population from urban areas will get food, right? And who will by how can we provide so much food? That is by securing right to food, and that is also by huge production of food. And that is possible because of Green Revolution. Green Revolution has almost developed the wheat production by 4 times and rice production by more than 2 times. It has developed production as increased by Green Revolution. So that ensured food security. Apart from serving as head of the various national and international institutions, he headed the National Commission for Farmers. National Commission of Farmers, M.S. Swaminathan, he has headed National Commission for Farmers, constituted in 2004, and to address the nationwide calamity of farmer suicides in India. Right? In India there is a big problem of farmer suicides, right? In various regions, especially in the Marathwada regions, that is Vidarbha, the Marathwada region, Vidarbha region, these regions, huge number of farmer suicide is utilized, right? Okay. India needs to adhere the visions of these two women, especially when our agrarian challenges are mounting due to erratic rainfall, cycles of rainfalls, droughts, unsustainable practices, and other endemic issues. Erratic rainfall, right? Presently we are suffering from erratic rainfall. Erratic rainfall means the monsoon pattern is not uniform. Sometimes there is delay in monsoon, sometimes there is huge amount of rainfall, sometimes there is low rainfall. That is factored by the global factors like your El Nino, La Nina, and all these things that lead to change in our agriculture rainfall. And agriculture rainfall, erratic rainfall, that hampers the productivity of the farmers, and the production suffers. Right, production suffers a lot because of erratic rainfall. That is a big problem in Indian agriculture, and by climate change, because of climate change also, there is 12% change in the rainfall pattern, right? In some areas there is heavy rainfall and some there is drought. For example, you can see the same thing, the erratic rainfall is beautifully explained in a movie, that is Kadvi Hawa, that is where Kadvi Hava, that is directed by Nilbandha Panda. That is a movie where it is explained the erratic rainfall, the comparison of rainfall, erratic rainfall between Odisha and Madhya Pradesh, where Odisha, where it is flooded, it is seen frequently. Flood and cyclones are seen frequently because of climate change that hampers the agricultural practices because of natural hazards, and also at the same time there is the rainfall pattern in Madhya Pradesh has significantly declined. Right. So there is also cycle of floods. Presently also there is cycle of floods in many regions of Odisha, and many times it is in Maharashtra also we see that causes huge amount of loss of agricultural production, right? That rises inflation, that causes inflation in the agricultural production as well because of the floods. And many times there is droughts as well. Many years we see droughts. So these are the reasons why these are endemic issues. There's perennial issues since many decades. These issues are witnessing such type of issues. Although their effect has been reduced by various embankments, there is various dams has been created, small hydropower dams have been created. Still, these issues are exist. So government is also pursuing river interlinking projects, various river interlinking projects, so that the problem of floods and droughts can be addressed simultaneously. But although there is also exist the environmental programs, there also exist the social protests, there are huge challenges exist. Land acquisition is the biggest challenge for government of India. There is a social protest by some left parties obviously against the demand that such type of things that damage the environment, right, and that displaces the vulnerable section and they are not properly rehabilitated. That's why, for example, Narmada Bachao Andolan, it is the significant and it is a very big movement against the development of water reservoirs in Narmada river, and government is pursuing such type of steps. There is unsustainable practices and other endemic issues. Unsustainable practices means, for example, irrigation. Irrigation is not highly efficient irrigation. That's why government has brought Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana for efficient irrigation. Krishi Sinchai Yojana is brought by the government for efficient irrigation. And another issue is, for example, unsustainable agriculture means maximum the unscientific use of fertilizers. Fertilizers are not used in a proper way, right? There many times their portion is more. They are more utilizing more fertilizer than that is required, and if you use more fertilizer, that will require more water, and that creates a crisis of water in some states like Punjab and Haryana, and our water level, groundwater level is declining. So various problems are still associated with Indian agriculture. There are endemic issues, and there is also political opposition. Also there is also opposition which is many times these are on there. Opposition is also many times creates such steps that hamper the development. As it is a democracy, there is politics is associated with governance. That's why such problems are challenges that exist in Indian agriculture. So these are the contributions of Dr. Swaminathan in the field of Indian agriculture. We will see another main topic, that is regarding the biofuel policy. Okay. Understanding ethanol blending. Why ethanol blending is important? Why you should pursue ethanol blending? The reason is that we are suffering from economic energy crisis, right? Urbanization is increasing, our materialism is increasing, we are using various products, various electronic products, our energy consumption is increasing, energy prices are also increasing because there is uncertainty in the world order, because of war, because of conflict between various countries. The Middle East is the Middle East area or West Asia region is highly unstable because there is dictatorship, there is huge amount, there are huge number of non-state actors. So, because of all these reasons, we should become self-sufficient so far as energy consumption is concerned. We have to ensure energy security, right? Although India's energy per capita energy consumption is much less than the world average, still it is growing at a rapid pace because of the huge growth of modernization and westernization, and also even individual household. So, gradually we are utilizing more, and there is 100% electricity penetration already happened. Rural electrification and rural street electrification is already being started by various panchayats, right? Broadband connection is developing. So, the rural mass is getting included in the developmental process. So, that is why the energy requirement is also going to be increased, right? But the problem is that petrol prices is also increasing, but the problem is that we do not have surplus of energy. We do not have our indigenous petroleum, crude petroleum, so that we can mine them. But the problem is that excavate them from the ground. But the problem is that we don't have, they are not sustainable, financially sustainable. So, we do not have oil reservoirs. That is the reason why we need ethanol blending. Ethanol blending is essential to increase, to ensure reduced carbon emission that we have promised in the Glasgow summit as NDC, National Determined Commitments. And Government of India, it has promised, it has developing 20% of, it is targeting 20% of ethanol blending by 2022, by 2025, right? And what is this ethanol blending? We will see. Prime Minister announced that India has achieved its target of blending 10% of sugarcane extracted ethanol in petrol ahead of schedule, right? So, we have achieved its target of blending 10% of ethanol in petrol. In petrol, 10% of ethanol is added. Addressing the nation from the Red Fort in 76th Independence Day, he rooted the energy independence, is stating that we need Atmanirbhar, self-sufficient in our energy sector. We need to be Atmanirbhar, self-sufficiency is highly essential in case of energy sector. India is one of the world's biggest oil importing nations. Yes, one of the biggest oil importing nations. We import maximum of our oil from Iraq. Second, we import maximum oil from Russia. Then third, then from Saudi Arabia. And right, these are the countries from where we import our oil. What is ethanol blending? Blending ethanol with petrol to burn less fossil fuel while running vehicles is called as ethanol blending. With petrol to burn less fossil fuel, right? Less fossil fuel. So, 10% of ethanol blending means our foreign it reduced by 90%, it reduced by 10%, right? 10% of ethanol that is reduced. So, we have to only purchase 90% of our requirement because we are blending 10% of ethanol. That saves 10% of our foreign exchange because we are always importing the crude oil from international market. Ethanol is an agricultural product, that is byproduct, which is mainly obtained from the processing of sugarcane, sugar from sugarcane, also from other sources such as rice, husk or maize. These are first generation biofuel. Ethanol is a first generation biofuel. So in case of first generation biofuel, they are obtained from food crops especially. So it can be sugarcane, it can be other sources like rice, husk, maize. This ethanol can be created. The rotten potatoes also ethanol can be created. Currently 10% of petrol that powers your vehicle is ethanol. 10% of ethanol is blended in the petrol. So India have an E10 or 10% ethanol policy for a while. It is the only year that India have achieved that proportion, right? India has recently achieved that proportion of 10% ethanol blending. India's aim is to increase the ratio to 20% by 2030. Initially, we have the aim to increase the ethanol blending by 2030, but NITI Aayog put out the ethanol roadmap rather advanced in 2025. Ethanol roadmap was earlier it was decided that it will complete by 2030, but recently again it made the target by 2025. So the deadline was 2025. By 2025, there will be 20% ethanol blended in the 20% of ethanol will be blended. Ethanol blending will help bring down share of oil imports almost 85%, on which it can spend a considerable amount of our precious foreign exchange. Will help bring down share of oil imports. Yes, almost it will share of oil imports, in which it can spend a considerable amount of precious foreign exchange. Secondly, most ethanol output will help increase the farmer incomes, right? Because they are primarily derived from crops, right? That's why, yes, our agriculture production is increasing, but our consumption is also increasing as compared to that agricultural production is increasing. We have food surplus. So we have to, so when there is a surplus in food, what we will do? We will either export. Now we have another option, that is ethanol. So that will help the farmers as well. That will help the farmer income as well. It is one type of another mode of income for the farmers. That is one type of developing the gas crops. NITI Aayog reports 2021 says India's net import of petroleum was 185 million tons. 185 million tons at the cost of 55 billion in 2020-2021. And that is successful ethanol blending from save the country 4 billion per annum, $4 billion per annum, $4 billion, that is around, so this will be around $400, so that will be around 2,800. $1 billion is your 100 crore, right? So 400 crore, 400 into, for example, around 80. So that will be 3,000, from 3,000, around 3,000 crore will be saved per annum. So that is around $4 billion will be saved per annum because of ethanol blending. Okay. What is the first generation, second generation ethanol? There are various types of ethanol, various types of biofuels, first generation, second generation, third generation and fourth generation. First generation are based on food crops. With an aim to augment ethanol supplies, the government has allowed procurement of ethanol produced from other sources beside molasses, sugarcane molasses, that is after the use of a sugarcane, that is called sugarcane molasses. The waste products are called as sugarcane molasses, which are primarily derived from the sugarcane factories, right? It will give benefits to both. For example, it will give benefits to the sugarcane factories also because that waste are utilized. will give benefit to the farmer also, because that increases the sugarcane price, that increases prices of sugarcane. So now we have always a conflict between the price of sugar and the sugarcane developers. So now that FRP, right? Now the farmers will get benefit because of the ethanol blending, which is first generation ethanol or 1G. Other than molasses, ethanol can be extracted from materials such as rice straw. So these are molasses or rice straw, wheat straw, corn cobs, corn stover, bagasse, bamboo and woody biomass, that are called as second generation biofuel, which are developed from non-food crops. So first generation biofuel is from food crops, second generation biofuel is from non-food crops like wheat straw, corn cobs, corn stover, bagasse, bamboo, woody biomass. These are second generation biofuel. It is not only the prospect of higher farmer income, but also dwelt upon the advantages of farmers selling residual stubble left behind after rice is harvested. After rice is harvested, to help make biofuels. This means lesser stubble burning and therefore lesser air pollution. Lesser stubble burning and lesser air pollution. How have other countries fared? Though US, China, Canada and Brazil have ethanol blending programs, as a developing country, Brazil stands out. It has legislated that ethanol content in petrol should be in 18 to 27.5% range. It finally touched 27% target in 2021. So Brazil has reached the target of 2021 because Brazil is the largest producer of sugarcane. So it has a huge amount of sugarcane and molasses. It can create biofuel, huge amount of biofuel. See, the challenge is not with blending, the challenge is the production of the biofuel. Production of biofuel means if you are blending 10% of the petrol, that means you have to create that much of ethanol, and from where you will create that much of ethanol. There should be huge amount of agricultural production, and that production unit of that much of ethanol. Developing that production unit, collection of those food crops to develop ethanol, the continuous supply of this ethanol, all these things that will lead to ethanol blending. So it's a huge task. So obviously it will take time. Whereas Brazil has touched 27% target in 2021 because it has huge production of sugarcane. How does it impact the industry? At the time Niti Aayog report 2021, the industry has committed to government to make all vehicles E20 material compliant, that is ethanol blending material compliant by 2023. All vehicles should be compliant to the ethanol blending, right? This means that petrol points, plastics, rubber, steel and other components in the vehicles would need to be compliant to hold store fuel, that is 20% ethanol. Without such a change, rusting is an obvious impediment. There may be rusting, right? So to impediment rusting of the component of a vehicle that may be developed because of ethanol. So government has directed that all vehicles, petrol pumps, plastics, rubber, steel, there need to be components in vehicles so that they can handle such type of ethanol. According to automobile manufacturer, that industry has committed to become E20 engine compliant by 2025, which means that engines would need to be tweaked so as to process petrol that has been blended with 20% ethanol. So yes, that should E20 engine compliant. Engine should be automobile manufacturers. They should develop E20 engine compliant so that we can make 20% of ethanol blending. Are there other alternatives to ethanol blending? See, to address the climate change, we have to address in various manner. We cannot go by a single way and create a huge amount of renewable energy. We have to develop solar, we have to develop wind, we have to develop geothermal, we have to develop nuclear energy, we have to develop small hydropower energy, we have to also develop biopower energy in large reservoir wherever possible. We have to go for decentralized manner, right? In every manner, we will also go for energy efficiency, so that our energy efficient development, energy efficient machines can be created, so that there will be less in utilization of energy. Sources in the auto industry says that they prefer use of biofuels as the next step. Use of biofuels as the next step, right? Auto industries, they are interested in biofuels because they will induce low carbon emission. Compared to other options such as electric vehicles, they prefer biofuel, hydrogen power and compressed natural gas (CNG). They miss is mainly because biofuels demand least incremental investment for manufacturers. Achha. So this is because the manufacturers, they want biofuel, because to develop the biofuel compliant engine, the manufacturers, they want less investment. That's why they are in favor of the biofuel rather than the electric vehicle or hydrogen power or CNG. Even though the industry is recovering from the economic losses brought in the pandemic, it is bound to make changes to comply with India's promise of net zero emission by 2070. India has promised net zero emission by 2070 in the Glasgow summit. The whole industry, they also want to invest. They have to invest. They have to go away from the existing structure, and that need huge amount of investment. And for that investment, they need huge amount of profit and money and capital. And they are also they have gone at serious shock because of the pandemic. They have gone through huge loss because of the pandemic. So sudden change will need time. Okay. What are the challenges before the industry when it comes to 20% ethanol blended fuel? What are the challenges? The Niti Aayog report points out that the challenges before the industry are optimization of engine for higher ethanol blends, and the conduct of durability studies on the engines, and field trials before introducing the E20 compliant vehicles. So that should be field trial. There should be durability test. So whether what is the impact of this ethanol blending on efficiency, and what is the durability of the vehicle engine, and field trials must be optimized. Otherwise, the vehicle itself, it will lose the market value and people will not purchase it, and there will be huge loss in various aspects. So there will be field trial. The auto industry is in talks with the government to plan the transition. There are multiple issues at stake for this endeavor. Storage is going to the main concern, right? Where the ethanol will be stored. If 10% E10 supply has to continue in tandem with E20 supply, storage would have to be separate, which then raises cost, right? If you want to store huge amount of ethanol also, you have to develop the storage, and that will increase the cost of the price. So that will be obviously if that will be equal to the price of the petrol and increase the price of the petrol, that will be a challenge, serious challenge for the private industry or auto industry and the government as well. What has been objections against these transactions? Ethanol burns completely, emitting nil carbon dioxide, right? Ethanol burns completely or emit nil carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is not emitted from ethanol. So we can say that by 20% ethanol blending, carbon emission will be reduced by 20%. By using the leftover residue from the rice harvests to make ethanol, stubble burning will also reduce. So stubble burning will also reduce. That is a big problem in states like Haryana, Punjab and Delhi. Because of stubble burning, every year Delhi is going through severe atmospheric pollution. That has been his news. West Uttar Pradesh region, that also UP, Haryana, Punjab, Delhi, they suffer from the stubble burning problem, and for that ethanol blending will help it. The 2G ethanol project inaugurated recently will reduce the greenhouse gases equivalent to about 3 lakh tons of carbon dioxide per annum. So this 2G ethanol project that will reduce 3 lakh tons of carbon dioxide emissions per annum, which is the same as replacing almost 63,000 cars annually on our roads. So annually reducing 63,000 cars just by the 2G ethanol project. However, it doesn't reduce the emission of another key pollutant, that is nitrous oxide that is emitted. Carbon dioxide is stopped, but nitrous oxide is emitted to the atmosphere, which is also a greenhouse gas, potential greenhouse gas. Inefficient land use in ethanol production. Can land use far be efficiently by generating renewable power? Land use far more efficiently by generating renewable power for electric vehicle batteries. For example, to match the annual travel distance for electric vehicle, recharge from 1 hectare generating solar energy. 187 hectares maize derived from ethanol are required, even when one accounts for the losses from electricity transmission, battery charging, grid storage. So land is more efficiently by generating renewable power for EV batteries, right? Inefficient land use, electric vehicle batteries, so that will be more efficient. To match the annual travel distance of electric vehicle recharge from 1 hectare generating solar energy, 187 hectares of maize is derived, ethanol is required. So it is that is one other challenge. Water needed to grow crops from ethanol is another debating point. We are already going through a water crisis, so that will also create another water because farmers will use more and more water for ethanol creation of ethanol. On average, tons of sugarcane can produce 100 kg of sugar and 70 liters of ethanol. 1 ton of sugarcane. A liter of ethanol from sugar requires 2860 liters of water. So that's create another problem. So huge amount of water is going to be utilized. There has been therefore a move toward waste-based extraction rather than the sugarcane molasses. Waste-based extraction, such as through coarse grains, but supply may be still a problem. Though Niti Aayog report sounds sanguine to this count, the roadmap estimates ethanol production from the domestic grains will increase, hoping forefront by 2025. Still, in those areas where huge amount of rainfall is occurring, ethanol blending is possible in those areas by production of huge amount of sugarcane molasses or those crops from which we can derive ethanol. The abnormally wet monsoon season may have helped in recent years to raise grain output, but in recent analysis by International Council of Clean Transportation is skeptical why those production increases can be sustained. So wet monsoon may have helped the recent years. Now we have wet monsoon, huge amount of rainfall is there, so ethanol blending is possible because we have huge amount of rainfall, and because of the conducive atmosphere, huge amount of production of the crops. But to sustain that, we have the issue is there is also issues of water uses. Sugarcane also would like to continue the primary source of ethanol, even the 12 plant farmed waste. What are for 2G ethanol, that is distilleries. The first inaugurated recently capacity to produce 100 kiloliters a day, 100 kiloliters a day, or 3.5 crore liters a year sugarcane, right? It is a primary source of ethanol. So 3.5 crore liters a year will be produced. In 2021 ethanol roadmap forecasts that additional 800 crore liters of ethanol is needed annually to meet the target. 800 crore liter is essential to meet the target of 20% ethanol blending. It is assuming the other 11 plant farm waste distillers have similar rates of production. Their combined input barely produce 5% of the additional annual ethanol requirement. So the 11 plant farm waste distillers, they will produce only 5% of additional annual ethanol requirement. So meet this 800 crore liters of ethanol, the huge challenge for the government to produce a huge amount of ethanol. What are the food security concerns and impact on India's target? There is already indications that more sugarcane is being grown, in that the government of India is encouraged the more corn production at the maize summit in May 2022, which is used for ethanol production, cited a reason for this push. Right, ethanol production is also being encouraged because is encouraged in the maize summit, and also more people are producing sugarcane. As evident in India's wheat harvest earlier 2022, climate change induced heat waves are worrying factor and can lead to lower than expected harvest in little notice. So as the water, it is their water intensive crops. If you are producing them and anytime there is drought like situation, that will also hamper the production. Global corn maize production is down. Is down. This adds incentive for India to try and export more. We can develop, we can export the maize as well, because global production of maize and corn is down. In France, the corn harvest has dipped 19%. Reduction of forecasts have been seen for the at least 7 other countries in Europe. So we can develop the maize production. That's why US has expectation have grown, also revised slightly downward. So everywhere there is scarcity of maize. So the government is focusing on maize production. Uncertainty about the future production in India may not find easy. Simultaneously strengthen the domestic food supply systems, adequate stocks in lean years, maintain the export market for the grains, divert the grains to ethanol, and expected rate of coming years. This issue is that warrants continuing to monitoring. So there are various challenges that exist regarding the production, regarding the availability. There exist challenges regarding the water availability, and that is also regarding our food, that may cause a food crisis, because India is also facing the problem of malnutrition. So there are various problems, and there is a huge amount of investment. There is a huge amount of investment is also required. So there are the various challenges that exist before India regarding ethanol blending. Still, India is committed to blend 20% ethanol blending by 2025. For that, the automobiles sector, they have to improve their vehicles, the engines, so that will be compliant to ethanol blending. They have to develop their storage system. So this is all in summary regarding ethanol blending, and the lectures end here. Thank you.